Izzy, thank you for the camp, baby. Umbral, mwah, good morning. Well, good afternoon, really. How are you, baby? Mako R2D2 screen, dude. I am not a I'm not a droid. It don't happen like that. Also, G7, 2 fucking years. I love you, baby. Mwah. Thank you for the pride. It means a lot. Thank you. Mwah. Hope you're having a good evening. Hope you're getting some goody rest. And Izzy, you little cute fuck, little bitch. Tuh, I fucking love you, bitch. Mwah, little cutie. Oh shit. And I ain't never gonna stop loving you, bitch. Mwah. How do we fund turning Cross into a Shamrock droid? Why? Bird confirmed, bruh. Bruh. GF7, hell yeah, baby. Look, G7 is 7 Garu girlfriends in a trench coat, alright? That's how this works, okay? Let's not pretend like this is anything else. That implies that you know what Shamrock is? True, I have no idea what the fuck Shamrock be. The Adventure of the Runaway Room! We let the cutscene play, like, as the stream ended last time. But, I realized we never actually, like, watched it on stream. Also, once this cutscene is over, I will make the new prediction.
Century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner.
Foreshadowing.
My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Herlock Sholmes!
I
I still laugh so much about it.
That case was indeed the prelude.
I still can't.
The beginning of a long
Thank you for
concerto
that,
that
Patsy. Yahoo!
impressive
Welcome.
Japanese student and I were to play together.
I still can't get over Herlock Sholmes. It's still the dumbest fucking thing. Platform 9 3/4. Did we find the kill of your friend? Yeah. It was like half an accident, half intentional.
Is this really just a railway station?
It was messy.
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an
I'm alert.
enormous
I'm trying not to get
building
spoiled because I
before.
have this game too. Yeah, no worries, butter.
And look at
Appreciate
all
it,
the
gamer.
steam locomotives.
I'll get you.
This
I'll
country is
get you.
incredible.
I honestly thought they were gonna get their fucking shit like stolen. Where the protagonist looks like a Raido Kuzunoha. I'm trying to, yeah. When you put the bag down here and those little kids like look up at you, I honestly thought that one of those two kids were gonna yoink your shit, but for some reason
Where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb
they
aboard.
seem to be helping
Say
the
you want to go.
the carriage man here
The Supreme Court
from the
is right
SMT
here,
game.
if you
Ah,
My pleasure.
he does look a little SMT dressed like
I
that.
suppose you're visiting
He
students
does
from abroad, eh?
do look a little.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah, definitely a little.
And welcome to the centre of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
London. Oh shit. All right. I know it hasn't actually officially happened yet, but we'll set up the we'll set up the prediction beforehand. We'll just set up the prediction beforehand. Who's it hurting? Who's it hurting? Center of the world, more like the toilet hole of the world up top. I mean, that is what it is now. It definitely was one of the centers of the world for a bit at some point. The British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. What an incredible place. Going all in? 2.4K? It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. Kaze no Yaiba, mwah, Yahoo, how you doing, cutie? I'm doing alrighty, how are ya? This place is breathtaking. But it sort of looks like a fortress. 87K belief? What the fuck? There's no points in disbelief at the moment, Jesus! There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. Garu's got a bet big man, true. It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. G7 just has more coins than me, more Kun coin. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity, as envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yeah. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So, we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer. Which is what I've been studying for, right? Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. Is that how that works? So that is the second reason why we're here. To have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Oh, good morning. Sorry to keep you. I don't know what kind of a voice to give this guy. Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I am 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. That's a pretty big late period. Oh, no, don't mention it. Leviosa kind of vibes, yeah. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I am Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes, thank you. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, well, help! I'm so nervous of a Zagani that I can't remember a single thing about the city! It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruto? Oh. We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, pipewater, gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Suzato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
Yes, there is much excitement of the upcoming great exhibition that we will be hosting here in London.
Great exhibition.
Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and we will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Nationalist pride. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent this is going to be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent! London is the center of the modern world!
Even if you do say so yourself.
The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun.
I spent I spent an hour trying to 36-star Abyss. I can't beat the Hydra Abyss like this. My only issue was beating the Weenut. So if I made a team that sucked against the first two parts of the floor, but were really good against the Weenut, that's all I needed, because I had already 3-starred both parts of floor 12 beforehand. Lord Chief Justice, sir. I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you?
Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves.
That's right.
The British government has already been telegraphed a full report of the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores.
That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived.
My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours.
Oh, thank you. I have the opposite problem. Weenut is easy. I like the type of teams to break through the Hydra shield in time. Bring a bunch of Dendro. Dendro busts Hydra shield from Abyss better than Ice. Better than Fire. Just bring Dendro.
And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news.
Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in Paris.
They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy. I see that that is true.
Guess what I don't have? Did you at least build Dendro Traveler?
And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means that the study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
What do you have to say, madam?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo.
This is it then. The moment of truth. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Stromheart, I have Dendro Traveler, they fly out of the ring too much, yeah. But Freeze and the Dendro element can coexist simultaneously. So weirdly, like a pseudo Fridge team where you bring Dendro for Bloom and then Freeze to lock them down, that does work. It's just a suggestion. Not saying that it'll be the be-all, end-all. And you have Dendro Traveler, but you also have Kale, which can apply Dendro twice. So, it's, yeah. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead.
Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there is nothing to be done.
Dendro and Cryo, the frozen peas, yes. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean.
Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand.
Well, the thing is... Oh, this really isn't gonna end well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo, I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What do I say? If there's someone else from here who could be described as a lawyer, it's me, sir. I can do it.
Is that so?
I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but...
No qualifications, you say? And you still yet claim to be a lawyer?
I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details... I've been spending every spare moment on the journey from here to Great Britain studying, sir. I've learned all about British law and the court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. And Nobu, Yahoo, how you doing, cutie? Big for the head pats, how are you?
The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training.
I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, sir, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please.
31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo, was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer.
Oh, thanks.
So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment.
Huh?
But let me ask you one thing first, sir.
Yes.
You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path?
Well, yes, that's my intention, sir.
I see.
Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden?
Very well. You have your wish. I will give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. And whether you pass or fail is entirely up to you.
Really? So, what form will the test take exactly?
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be?
Well, defending people, of course.
Well said. So, let's have you defend someone.
Huh?
Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as of yet, so this will be welcome news.
Rosaria, not enough damage or cryo to do Dendro Freeze? Sounds like you didn't build her well enough. Rosaria do damage, my guy. I'm not trying to like, you know, drag down anything. I'm just saying, yeah, Rosaria can do the damage. It's just you haven't been able to build her enough. It's just the reality. It's part of Genshin. Artifacts suck ass. I mean, yeah, I built her for support. I am, point at this Genshin player. Today? Straight away.
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you will have passed my test. What could be simpler?
How do I get myself in these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Yes, good question. Ah, I remember. It's a murder trial.
A murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
Well, that's easy to say.
But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment.
Capital punishment? He'll be put to death?
Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law.
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. And, Yahoo, how you doing, cutie? Electromane. Electromane, point and laugh. No,
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it is acceptable.
But you can't do that, can you? As a Raiden Shogun main base? Yeah, but Raiden Shogun is borderline, like, not Electro. She's yeah, she's Electro. But she's so iconically different from, like, how all other Electro had been built up to that point. And honestly, kind of after, too. That, like, she's kind of her own thing. She's Electro adjacent.
There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do ensure that you do not lose.
So, the defendant might live or die depending on how well I perform in court. And if I lose, he'll be hanged.
Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer! If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi? I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen.
He's testing my resolve.
What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be?
What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd-ass test? Yeah, I'll do it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out!
15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That's too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it?
Sorry?
You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. Huh? The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Wait, go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over.
Wait, but I hit it. But I hit it though. And Gaming Killer, Yahoo, how you doing, cutie? But I hit it though. I hit the button. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. No, what do you mean? I'll do it. Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry, Mr. Zato, but what could I do? Wait, this doesn't count. I hit the button. You do? It's not an easy decision whether to choose to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. Wait, what's going on? What's happening?
What are you trying to say, madam?
I think that what Mr. Sato means is that no matter how badly I like to be recognized as a lawyer, to stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially, will be utterly unforgivable. And I feel the exact same way. I'm sure that the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock might be their only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Wait! Mr. Naruhodo.
Was there something else?
It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time.
Wait, but I just said that.
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him.
What?
At this point, he can't find hope that someone will represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there is only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down.
Wait, but that's awful!
But it is the truth.
Why does it have to be like this? Why would I build Rosario well when she doesn't fit in 80% of my teams? I mean, the part of the point of Genshin is to build as many team varieties as possible to cover yourself for Abyss changes. If you care about Abyss at all. You can't complain about Abyss and then complain that you didn't build a character because it doesn't suit your playstyle. You build teams that don't suit your playstyle so you clear Abyss. Watch all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. That's a lot of whores and backstabbing. Is what I got to say.
Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person right now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end.
I complain because Abyss electors are artificial difficulty? No. They're not, though? It's not artificial difficulty, it's how well do you know elemental reactions? How well can you maximize elemental reaction output? And in doing so in a way to react with the situation. It is absolutely not artificial difficulty. Also lonely. Mwah. Yahoo. How you doing, cutie? I think the difficulty is quite real. Yeah. Artificial difficulty is like the Weenut, where, hey, it's a time-based trial, and we're just going to make them immune to damage like a third of the time. That's artificial difficulty. Except sloths, that the thing that you have an issue with, breaking their Hydro Shields, aren't based upon your damage output at all. You could bring a level 1 character, as long as you avoid damage, and send out your skills, you know, on cooldown on a regular basis, figure out positions, rotations. That is, you can do as much damage as a fully leveled character against their Hydro Shield, which I assume is the big part that you're having an issue with, the reaction shield. Therefore, if you can handle it with a level 1 character, it is not artificial difficulty. It is a skill issue. That's why I hate it? Yeah, skill issue. I'm sorry to say, but that part do be kind of true.
And that is you. So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? Oh, what do you mean, Lord Stromheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. And I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves.
Ah, yes, enjoy yourselves by attending a murder trial immediately. The first thing you do when you enter our fair city. He's gone. The Old Bailey. I hate them for the same reason I don't like Riptowns. Use the single element or you're fucked. Except there are multiple elements. Even Electro breaks down the Hydro Shields just a lot slower than the other elements. You have choices. You're just complaining that the choices don't fit your specific playstyle entirely. That's why I'm telling you skill issue. Remember the good old days when Dami Mommy's voice got created? Good times, man. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Also, yeah, you don't even have to max the Rift Hound element. Miss Susato, can I ask you something? Careful. From this position, I can perform a Susato takedown in an instant. Yeah, I know. Mr. Naruhodo, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts immediately. I did try the other options, and they're not good enough, and it pissed me off. Like, if you had one really solid, very strong DPS that railed them down to the point where they're both in the Hydra form, and then you chose to bring 2 level 1 Dendro characters, and you quick swapped into them, avoided damage whether by shields or other methods, even without artifacts, and spammed out their skills, you can probably pull it off. There's Kale and Dendro Traveler. If you haven't built them, it's gonna be a lot harder, but you can still do it. It's more than possible. You can do it with those 2 characters at level 1, man. Is a quick attacking character more attacking than a slow one? It depends. If a slow attacking character brings enough damage to the table per hit, then it's the same thing. Is there a hidden cooldown for hits? No. There is something called an internal cooldown for elemental reactions. Some skills do obey by the ICD rules, some skills don't. Same with ults, same with everything. It really depends on the character. And Vivi, Yahoo, how you doing, cutie? If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. Alright, catch a ride! You're just gonna have to start building more character variety in general so that you don't have this issue in the future. Because I had that issue too. Like, I'm saying this from the perspective of a Genshin player that sat on his fucking hands, complained that Abyss was too hard, and only had, like, 2 teams total built, and was trying to level up other characters instead of figuring out, alright, I want this level of team variety, this is another team that I could build, I can move this unit from here to here if the situation requires it. I started building variety because I acknowledged that it was going to become necessary if I wanted to consistently clear Abyss, right? Once again, you're not allowed to complain about Abyss if you have characters and then don't build them. You can't say, release Dendro Mommy and maybe I will, and then complain about Abyss, because you're the one not doing the thing that you need to do to get the thing that you want done. Or you can just keep your sanity by just accepting whatever point you reach in the Abyss and just being happy with it. Right? You know, totally valid. Yeah, exactly. Thank goodness we're here in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. Oh, I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Or I can be salty till... Yeah, but Slots, literally nobody is going to empathize with you. Because your complaints are actually childish. Like, I love you, man. But the complaints that you've been making have been actually childish. Nobody's gonna empathize with it. Get to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were gonna die, and we have to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. The pains of waifu first, yeah. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I too am a waifu first character, alright? I tried clearing the current 36 star Abyss with Deha. I managed the last Abyss rotation. I could not manage this one. But maximizing your waifu, or husbando for that matter, for the sake of the game, means you have to build characters you don't give a shit about to maximize that waifu's output, alright? If you really care about your waifu, you'll bite the fucking bullet, alright? Because to me, maybe I'm the fucking, maybe I'm the fucking, weeb, but, nope, only characters that I like, then you're not allowed to complain. Then stop bitching about it. If you can't compromise, stop bitching. If you compromise and it's a struggle, you are more than allowed to bitch. Because then you're at a point where everybody else is, and you're sharing common ground. Unironically, but skill issue. Exactly. Exactly. You can't let go of your pride to let your waifu shine. Actual skill issue. Unironically. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said that the defendant should be here. But there's no sign of him at all. So, this is the Old Bailey. Even the room for the defendants wait in it is so grand. What's the point of beating Abyss if you can't do it with characters you like? Because you do it with characters that you like, supported sometimes by characters you don't like. You think because like you brought a Bidoof to the Elite Four because you needed an HM slave way back in the day that wasn't a legitimate run because the Bidoof wasn't your favorite fucking Pokemon? Get the fuck out of here. Alright? Get the fuck out of here, alright? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, I'm feeling tense. That's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court of Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is gonna crush whoever's about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed, you know? Yes. Whoever the man you're about to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at the moment. I don't like the Abyss either. The only reason I quote-unquote like the Abyss is because it lets me limit test, right? Because I get to experience how much damage my characters get to do, and I get to really see the numbers shine, and I get to benefit from the fruit of my effort, right? That's why I like the Abyss. I don't like the Abyss because I like the Abyss. The Abyss fucking sucks ass. I like the Abyss because it lets me go all out. Let me go all out, Master! Just this one time! Yeah, like, it's only good for them, yeah. I'm just salty that I haven't gotten any Dendro mommies. I mean, yeah, me too. However, you know, just wait. You know? Why cry about it? Why cry about it, though? Only Dendro I have is Nahida. Nahida runs away. Nahida, hundreds of years old. Yes, officer, this man. Whoever the man you're about to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir?
Who the fuck?
What are you doing following me here? Things awful desperate, are they?
Sorry?
Would you look at those expressionless faces from the historians?
Yeah, we're from Japan, yes.
Oh, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need?
No, we're here because...
Oh, no need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, all while in a strange, faraway land.
Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no.
'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now.
1,000 guineas? Please, Miss Suzaru, you don't need to shout. But 1,000 guineas is... It's enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What? Oh, 'tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure that I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2-3 times over.
Could that much rain even fall in a day? Redeem idea? What? What redeem idea? As if I, KSL Cross, need more fucking redeems to bog down my Scottish rich guy invitation.
Scrooge McDuck, you say?
Well, even so, we can't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah! That hit me in the eye! We play Genshin for different reasons? I mean, of course. Of course. But there are things that you can claim about, you know, you can complain about, that is justifiable to society at large. And then there are limitations that you set for yourself that make things not impossible, but very difficult, where no one wants to hear you cry about it, you know? Abyss is my most hated thing, but I need to do it, right? Because we all gotta get primos. Fuck Abyss, alright? I hate Abyss too.
Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me.
Oh?
To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial is about to begin, you see, for me good self here. I'll be in the dock.
Huh?
So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now.
Oh. Well, the thing is...
Don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's going to start without me having any kind of representation at all.
So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I shitpost when Magi Kenki's alive. Dude, Magi Kenki is such a cool fight. I hate his invulnerability phase. Instead of invulnerability, give him, like, maximum damage reduction. Make me only do, like, 1% damage. I'm fine with doing, like, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage, as long as I'm getting some progress done, please. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant for this trial?
Blustering praises. Do yous not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names.
No, sorry. We only just arrived in the city, you see.
I see. I suppose it ain't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, there's a centre of London is another beautiful park.
Sorry? A park? What?
It is called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated to the city, so I did.
An entire park in central London.
Oh, city of smiles. That's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people.
That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary.
Oh, but now they've got the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you?
All right, don't pass out, man. Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, I play Genshin for the exploration of the story too. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Oh, good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best.
What was I after saying, you daffy gent? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there to me next to me, haven't I?
Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering just to stand there next to you.
Oh, I think I see what's going on here.
Sorry?
I know what you're thinking. This chance of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well,
not at all. Not at all. Although, it is a little strange, to be honest, now that you mention it. Why don't you have a lawyer? I mean...
that would be the fault of the Reaper.
I'm sorry. The Reaper?
Oi, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey. Lord Baruch Van Zieks. He's the prosecutor.
The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper.
When Von Zieks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial of which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached the desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fellow at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey.
Goodness. Lord Baruch Van Zieks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then.
Talented isn't the word you're looking for, man. It's cursed.
Cursed? What on earth?
The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way to the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel.
Oh, his counsel. That's me.
Ugh, this time. Well then, fella, don't let me down.
But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened.
Until you showed your face here, I'd made up me mind, so I had.
Sorry?
I decided I'd have to defend myself in there.
How would that have worked?
But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident. I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now. Please.
I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only one thing that I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo? This man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would have never allowed to happen.
Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand.
I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. Hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Bullshit your way through the crossway? Goddamn, why you gotta call me out like that? Why you gotta call me out like that, huh? So this is the highest court of Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history of this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court of Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes the words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yeah, what? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Oh, shit. Hotel Transylvania looking ass.
In the name of Her Majesty, the Queen, I hereby declare this court is to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now, I call upon the counsel of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do to speak English?
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked the defense if the defense was ready. I couldn't be further from ready if I tried.
Those eyes please me.
Nipponese. Nipponese.
They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb.
Ugh. Cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes.
Now, Mr. McGilded.
Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if that fella's a student from some little island off in the Far East. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please may we go play in McGilded Park? It seems though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. Well, that's definitely welcome news. Certainly has a way with words, too. I'm surprised he could have convinced anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly to remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Yo, wait, there's a maid! We got a wife in the audience! Let's go. Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the grave while they're all, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says that we should dispose of rubbish properly. Promptly. Naturally. I agree. You play Hi-Fi Rush? Yeah, I played Friday and Saturday. I picked it up. I picked it up recently because of the spring sale. Oh, any criminals here would be wishing they never set eyes on me. She said nothing. He's just drinking.
Or fail a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll be getting on with me knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. Oh, adorable granny. Mr. Narumoto, those people are... The jury, yeah. Something that we don't have in Japan yet. That's right, I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinion of the 6 jurors. The judges pass sentence according to law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That, I don't know, but... I'm sure it'll become clear as the trial progresses. Yeah. Hi-Fi Rush is amazing? Dude, it's so good! What the fuck?
Prosecutor Van Zeeks. My lord, it's been a number of years since we've seen you in the courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame. I am known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance?
of which the court should be aware.
Are you giving a Dracula voice? Yes. I leave that to your imagination, my lord.
So the Reaper's been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today, of all days, to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court, nevertheless, welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity.
We must be the only ones in here that aren't aware.
The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service of the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death.
Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Indomitable Fiddler. Mwah.
Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are... Good lord. Is that blood, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What? Mr. McGilden's gloves had blood on them?
Yes. I will accept these as evidence as well.
Blood stain on the right glove. Just watch as it turns out he's like fucking left-handed and shit. How did I get into this? I backed into a corner before I even started.
Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside the vehicle at this time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilden.
Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilden. To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening, but whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting so it is, and when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I never laid eyes on before in me life. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul would rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got on the gloves then, after the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the driver is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses.
How? There were only 2 people in the fucking cart!
To the precise moment of which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
That rapid typing is amazing.
Order! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were real witnesses to the crime. This is not a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear the testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. The fuck? That's a lot of witnesses. Witness your names and occupations.
My name is, everyone calls me Pepper. I drive an omnibus in East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I am a banker in city.
My name's First. Lady First. My hat's for gents. You say that, but that's a garbage hat that you keep having to fix.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witnessed to the aforementioned event.
And Tyler, Yahoo, how you doing, cute?
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Well then, let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Eating some fettuccine? Hell yeah, culture. It was the last bus of the evening. A few customers, I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel.
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As it had been stated clearly from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses have possibly even seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of a moving carriage. Oh shit, you're right. Kind of.
How quaint. I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind the road. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant of our omnibus?
Huh?
Tell me, my Nipponese friend. Have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We, only just arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I have arranged for us to all see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? The actual scene? How?
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much.
Yes?
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Here? What? Wait, the entire carriage?
Bailiff. bring forth the stricken omnibus. Are they gonna bring a whole ass? They brought the whole ass carriage into the whole fucking court. This is hilarious. This is fucking hilarious. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Can't believe they can just bring in something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses. It can carry up to 8 passengers. Four passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin. Another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the very best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. If you do too many periods in a row, Nightbot thinks that you're trying to do something fucky. Omnibus, I'm considering a bad after that. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Oh, a skylight. Oh! The penny drops at last, I see. Yeah, G7 gets fucking mod immunity. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on which the omnibus of the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. Ah, well that makes perfect sense. Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There is a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Jesus. Very well. Very well. I see no reason why not. The omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here. Let us continue with the proceedings, then. Your cross-examination, Counsel. Pray don't expect these Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Alright, my first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke! Focus! So we have a 5-part testimony. Out of the blue, the accused reached over, plunged a knife into his guts.
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment that it happened? Didn't I already testify to that? Or are fair, dinkum, hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Oh, wait, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's... My lord! Juror number 3, what is the meaning of this? My mind's made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. What, made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something, or some other, that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me.
What the fuck? What's going on?
There's no point wasting my time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter, anyway. That is precisely what I was about to say.
What?
As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
What the fuck is going on? Wait, what the? What's happening here? Let me see. Oh, yes, it seems that that's how members of the jury give their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent, black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh my god! Now I'm even more worried than I was before! What is this fucking fantasy version of...
Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare. He stabbed him. I screamed at it, couldn't help it.
Hold it!
Hold it, hold it, hold it. He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right, sir. Up in the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see. I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then, I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right from his belly, that huge great knife.
A grim sight indeed.
Wait, that didn't help me at all. The jury looks like they're even more convinced that my client did it than they were before. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. Gilda was telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First.
Oh, yes, sir.
Is this the knife you saw?
Oh, good grief! Yes, that's it! The very one, sir! Is that?
Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
Yeah! They know they're doing a fucking Dracula meme!
That is a blade of considerable size, counsel. It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned with prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar.
In about like 2.5 hours, I'm either gonna have to end stream, or I'm gonna have to like step out so I can go pick up a cake for something.
And for Magnus, perhaps, McGilded possibly, take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
Wait, objection! But there are M's everywhere. Like Mason.
Objection!
Objection. This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
The murder weapon. Long court. My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Juror number 2. Juror number 2. Go on.
Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman. A gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know that we must accept hard truths. Wait, what are you about to do? Dispose of the rubbish. Oh, the wife who betrayed us? Wait, no. I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. Wait, hold it. Hold it. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today, cross-reference all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Dude, what the fuck is this? We haven't even been able to do anything! Oh, not again! 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There's only 2 left. Oh, we've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks might well fly. We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that'll give us a way to fight back. But... Alright. Yeah, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm, listen to the witnesses' statements again. As soon as I heard the scream and stopped my bus, I saw it too. Where does the driver sit? Could he really have seen it? I don't know, I'm kind of doubting a little bit. Alright, let me press that. What exactly did you see, sir? Well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. It collapsed on the floor, he was. Oh, wait! He wasn't collapsed on the floor, though!
And by the passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brick maker.
And the other passenger is the knife in his hand, like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGill.
And then he plugged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly. Except, it was already supposed to have happened, and suddenly Beppo's seeing it now? Okay, he's full of shit. What?
Order! Order! It is hard to believe one of London's greatest philanthropists. But this is damning indeed. The law knows no philanthropies, my lord. Only the innocent and the guilty. Good deeds mean nothing when overshadowed by evil. The truth is everything.
Couldn't agree more. The truth. Alright, so what had happened? The only 2 people enclosed in the cabin were the victim, the defendant, and so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed! I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation. Ugh. What am I even supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilder really innocent? Or could it be... Before we jump to conclusion, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case better than we do at the moment. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again. A little more carefully this time. Okay, wait. Sat next to each other on the bus. Out of the blue, reached over, plunged a knife. He stabbed him, I screamed, couldn't help it. As soon as I heard, I saw the bus, and then I saw it too. Alright, so what had happened, the only 2 people in the enclosed cabin were the, and so, 3 whole people. Okay, this is the same lines. What am I supposed to do here? I honestly have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Alright, that part of the sheath isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Hmm? Oh, sorry, yeah. I just don't really like blades. Oh, those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. Yeah, well, that's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's just no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. That's a lot of blood there. Wait, that's not an M, that's a W! An ornate letter M. Undeniably, Mr. Magnus's gilded initial. That's a fucking W! What are you on? It's beautifully gilded, too. Must be very valuable, I should think. Oh, what is it? Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. That could change everything. A W? Yeah, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. I'm afraid I don't know at all. But what I am sure of is that this is an M. What? Oh, well, that idea was quickly quashed. What do you mean? It looks totally like a W. I mean, it does also look like an M. But this is like the fucking bullshit white dress, blue dress, black dress, gold dress, fucking, internal hemorrhaging. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Nothing will come of grumbling now. No, by the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed? Yes, I believe so. Fuck. He was toying with the coin in his right hand a little bit earlier. Fuck. Pity. If only he'd been left-handed. I think the blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really, though. True.
Hold it!
Okay, what exactly did you see? That'd be the passenger, collapsed on the floor. We've been through this part. Other passenger had the knife in his hand, like this. By the other passenger, referred to McGilded. They plunge it down like this, and the passenger in the belly. Order. Laws not only philanthropists, only the guilty. The good means nothing. Couldn't agree more. The truth. Wait. Oh, wait. I the collapse on the floor moment. I need to talk about the collapse on the floor moment. I need to present the picture of the collapse on the floor, I think. If he was a driver, how could he see it happen? Because he can still look into the skylight. I can believe that. Okay, wait, hold on.
Hold it!
I'm gonna press it again. Collapse on the floor he was. Court record. How do I present the fact that he wasn't collapsed on the floor? He wasn't collapsed on the floor, though. That's the thing, he's not collapsed on the floor. That's wrong. What am I supposed to do here? Feels like the game is, like, bugging out right now. Is the game bugged? I can't call him out on it. I tried. It didn't let me. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I, like, bugged out the game or something else. As a driver, he couldn't see it happen? So the driver would sit here, which he could look back, and as long as someone wasn't sitting in the front, he could look through the skylight. Is this game new? I don't think it's, like, super new. It's been out for a while. Certainly see the inside of the carriage. Lamp in the enclosed cabin. I'm sure that the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. Well, let's open the door and go inside. The scene of a murder. It's horrible. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously. That seat would have been clearly visible from the roof deck. Oh! At that angle, you're right. The driver absolutely shouldn't have been able to see it. You're right that the driver wouldn't have been able to see it at this angle. But it's not because there was no ability. It's just genuinely he could not have seen it at this angle. He wouldn't have been able to see it at any angle cross. I mean, eh. I still think he could see through the skylight if they happen to be sitting here. If they happen to be sitting on this side, I still think he could have seen through the skyline. Especially since he's so short. Eh. I don't know. I actually think he could have. Alright. First of all,
Objection!
you can't have seen it. Okay, let's just consider the implication of that statement there for a moment, shall we? Wait. What implications, counsel? Nothing strikes me about it. Wait. They're not letting me... Oh my god, dude. What's the matter? What the fuck? Something's not right. Okay, I'm gonna repress these last three. I'm gonna repress these last three.
Hold it!
Stabbed him. That's right. Always up on the roof seats. I'm seeing the little jet next to the fellow that was stabbed. Thinking about the new hat design. Looking around. Look down through the skylight. Just sticking up out of his belly. That big old knife. If this wasn't the court of law, I would have felt compelled to use this as how to take down for that lapse in judgment. No, I'll be more careful. As we have heard, the witness had an unfettered view of the results unfolding. Would not have concurred, Coachman. Your dithering suggests that you would. Oh, yes, sir.
Hold it!
Then I saw it too. What did you see? That would be the passenger, sir. Collapsed on the floor he was. Once again, he couldn't have been collapsed on the floor! And I can't present this as evidence! He wasn't collapsed on the floor! I can't press him further about it. Despite the fact that he's clearly not collapsed on the floor. What's happening? Is the game bugged? Is this broken? What's going on? Like, what's actually happening? Genuinely, I have no idea what's going on. Can you not interject with anything? It's not letting me. It just doesn't let me present anything, despite the fact... Oh my god, what's happening? Feels like something's missing for some reason. It doesn't let me interject with anything. What am I supposed to do? I guess I have to press the other shit too? Sometime after 10, wasn't it? Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, there was a cold. It was freezing, in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time? Is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling the same parts of the bush, of course. No, no.
There were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example.
You're quite right about that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none. Nobody fled the scene of the crime, then. I have to say, the boss insists on running it. He does every evening. That the last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, what with being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spent much of that at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again. I just can't believe it, sir. I can't believe it. Murder my bus. Just too awful to think about. I haven't been able to shake this cold ever since it happened. Uh-oh.
My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you, as the master of the London Guild coachman, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me? It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself.
What?
But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say.
Wait, no, please, just keep an open mind a little longer.
Yep, now, Silver Blaze. The finish is in sight. Beppo's a long-standing member of the guild. I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. Dude, literally, what am I supposed to do?
Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leading?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park around this time of day, sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. Mr. McGilded Park, as it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know. Put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books? Wait, he also donated a library?
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? what kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is.
Wait, what kind of a man he is?
The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir. The one with the very darkest of souls.
What? Stone the crows!
Mr. McGilded lends money at extraordinary rates of interest, so that his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madame. So, has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in his entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service?
Well, you're not saying that...
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor, the accused, was Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He has lost his house, not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, his pitiful soul has had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded!
Wait, I don't believe it. If I might add something briefly,
Mrs. Otto?
you claimed that the victim had been lent money that by Mr. McGilded. Where is the evidence to support your claim? He's just fucking Dracula.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice in a court of law. There it is. Lord Van Zick's hollow chalice.
How can this be considered acceptable?
But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage. I did not expect to experience it myself.
As a judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accuser. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh.
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A marvelous toast, counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence.
Owed 20 guineas. That's a lot.
Oh yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accuser.
And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel. Still, maybe it's all for the best. Wait a minute. Let's think about this just a little more before. I don't stand for nonsense. What the fuck? That was it? The last juror's decision. This has to be scripted. This is bullshit. According to the Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended. The presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. The final verdict already? It's over then. Oh. There's a footnote, though. A footnote. However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections. I have to object. Mrs. Otto, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? What is Dracula doing here, right? You're just in the middle saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense. What did it say next? Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended. The presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. A summation examination?
Objection!
Objection. A summation examination. From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text of British law would even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It is a relic long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. What even is it, Miss Susato? Is this so-called summation examination? Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we'd be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Appeal to them to change their leaning, to reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Dracula is racist as fuck, right? Also, Rubbo, what's up, babe? Make them reverse their decisions. Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it fell out of use. I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barista would even assert his right to try in his day and age. But it's not illegal to do it! Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. What are you suggesting? Curse of Strahd looking different? Yeah, I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it is not yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? A summation examination. Our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Assert our fucking rights! The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord!
Objection!
Objection! London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examination are an embarrassment that should remain buried. What the fuck? I didn't press none.
Objection!
Objection! But if it's our right, it's our right, and I believe it could prove vital to this trial. The defense petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Well, I'm not. There was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see. All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decision and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot. This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justified luck. That seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before. Alright then. The summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around. So they forced you into a bad end situation just because they want to introduce a new fucking gimmick mechanic. Got it.
So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilty, guilty of this most serious crime.
No one else inside the carriage at the time. It has to have been him. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, so it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collected all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence in years.
A scoundrel! Stabbing that poor man on the floor! It beggars belief! It wasn't on the floor! Why can't they present the most obvious, blatant fucking thing that he says he was on the floor? He's not on the floor! Ah! I like the Ace Attorney games, but fuck their insistence on following their specific bullshit order. Ah! I'm really starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't really seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. Like, some of it's, like, super obvious, and it should lead to, like, another way. Like, I get it, right? I played the Ace Attorney games. I get it. They're very linear, surprisingly. Like, you can come to the conclusions early if you're smart, right? You physically yourself can start to come to conclusions early if you're smart. But sometimes they pull bullshit like this! Like, hi, I can speak to ghosts! Or, wow, I have this photograph, and except, you know, oh no, I suddenly remembered I saw blood on it that, like, you literally couldn't see without us putting it into the fucking photo, and, Jesus. There was an obvious contradiction in Phoenix Wright 2 that I pointed out and was wrong, was mad, yeah. As a Danganronpa fan, first time. I have to throw everything I can at them. Use some very persuasive language. In just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Unfortunately. Once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. Wait, but then they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it can recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched that they might become. What on earth am I supposed to do then? How many times has Renosuke been accused of something? 2. Accused of, murdering, Dr. Wilson in the very beginning, and then accused of murdering his own fucking friend. Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea about how to make this work, then? Well, from what I can understand, the key is procedure to use the juror's own words to make the argument. Wait, what do you mean by that? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They might appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they're complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we just contrast the statements, pit the corresponding jurors against each other. I see, so it's contradicting what 2 or more jurors say, that's what we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination, right? Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Who killed the friend? It was half an accident, half intentional, and I stand by that. But it was a ballerina girl, a Russian ballerina girl that had effectively been running away from the ballerina troupe that she worked for. She was disguised as a gentleman in the room right next door. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off.
Can we start proceedings, Counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. Had my money on Sherlock. Okay. Trust the driver, he has an excellent memory. 4 passengers, fares totaling 20 pence. Wait! That implies 5 pence each! £4! There was a 5th person!
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Indeed. Explain yourself, Counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silver Blaze's main and main. I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
Well, according to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus that night in question. According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares. Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And the juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
It is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication... Oh, it would be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare.
Yes! In other words, on that omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible. There was another passenger that we have heard nothing about!
Good gracious. This can't be right. All the coachmen of the guild are good, honest men. One and all, trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Hamza, what's up, you little rat? Mwah, cute fucker, little bitch, little shit. Tuh, just fucking remember, mwah, little cute bitch, little shit, mwah. Gotta love you, bitch. How you doing, baby? I never stop loving you, bitch. Mwah. Mr. Guildmaster, I think you might ought to consider that if this trial was to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial don't end then,
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire to the innocent side of the set of scales.
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We're all in agreement. Why do you have to kill it? Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo!
Oh my god. Can I keep doing this? Can we just keep pitting them against each other? This is awesome.
Oh, this is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same. Let's go! Maid wife is with us! My Twitter got hacked. Oof.
Wait, for the love of Mark, not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, you did it! If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. Wait, 2 more, actually. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions. Fuck, I need 2 more? Then that is where you must strike next. He's pitting 2 more jurors against each other, so there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly! You can do it!
Well, The scales of justice have shifted, but they still can weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Absolutely brazen. Stabbing the poor man on the floor. Wait. Like I've been fucking arguing about the whole fucking time! He wasn't stabbed on the floor!
Objection!
I don't even need to press the argument. Those two statements are once again completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel. Post haste.
Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What's all this claptrap? What does contradictory mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. But now, out of curiosity, juror number 3... what? Can't you see I'm busy here? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion do you think it was? Oh, want me to test it, do you? More like this. Stuff the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6. Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do you for, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. Or the coachman said so. Now don't move! Take a look at these two jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he had collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
Wait, what? Bless my stitches. What a muddle. What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses is not telling the truth. Oh! Wait, but why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in good conscience? What you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. The scales.
I don't believe it. Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors, I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him! The black suit, he's clearly some sort of Eastern sorcerer, using magic on us all.
Wait, if I could use magic, do you think I'd be putting myself through all of this?
Answer me this, you dark jinx.
What, me?
What exactly is the problem? What if the two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
Wait, what of it?
Let's say Shylock did stab the victim as he sat next to him on the omnibus, and his young daddy saw him do it. And now let's just say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again. This old lady saw him do it. Well then, what's to say it didn't happen like that,
Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Why are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you. Ah, they're just ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the two witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? Yeah, no fucking way. I have to say no. I have to say no, no matter what. Oh, the autopsy report. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you dark jinx? Come on, out with it!
Nope, it's not possible. We have the fucking autopsy. A single stab wound, baby. You gotta be big brain. You gotta pay attention to this shit. You gotta be fucking on it. What you're suggesting is impossible. Out of the question.
What? What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job? As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So, where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say those other questions, show me some proof.
Alright. I gotta present him something he can't dismiss then. Irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. As proven by this autopsy report. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once.
What? Only once?
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely a single time. Which means these witnesses cannot have possibly seen it happen two different times in two different ways. Alright, I concede defeat. Wait, that means 4 jurors are leaning out to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won. Well, it's too early to say we won right now.
What are you playing at, you dandy fool?
Oh, shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me.
But we had a consensus.
I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I sees one. And if the chap ever dares cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair on his head. Why is he licking it like that? Oh, that's just... Oh, stop. Bro, that's creepy. Stop, dude. Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in quite a remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation of examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty, 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority amongst the jury for me to advocate. Therefore, the trial must continue.
I feel like if you're at even, you have to continue, not be at a majority. Although, being at majority is nice.
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witness to return to their places. I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Holy.
So, Lord Van Six, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
Why? What? Oh, shit. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, I'm gonna be honest. Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hollow chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive these courtesy.
Lord Van Six?
Is it cold in here, or is it just fucking me? As your antiquated tone undoubtedly says, the prosecution may not speak during the summation examination. So I honored a deadly silence. Listen to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Bring forth the witnesses once more. Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have had to endure. Yes, sir, that I did, sir.
Of course I heard it.
Yes, sir, I heard it.
You, sir, on the end. The coachman. I believe it's Beppo.
Yes, sir, my lord, sir.
If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you are attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir.
Oh, mio.
Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought upon our attention by the defense's summation examination.
Alright. New version of the testimony. 4 passengers, but... Well, I for one was... Oh!
Well, I for one was told that I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
He fiddled on us with the fare, he did! Then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well, it's all too much!
I tell you, I saw McKilden stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh, yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. Oh, he was overcharging.
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please.
The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cosange.
Beppo, explain yourself!
Terribly sorry, Guildmaster.
Guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that? Am I to understand that you've been overcharging a passenger by a penny a fare?
It's cold. The last run of the day is always half empty.
You have been dishonest, coachman.
I'm sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo, a disgrace! And your selfless actions have brought dishonor to the entire guild!
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I can't make the result come out differently. No, that figures.
Well, it would appear one of the aforementioned misgivings have already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the Barlow games. Absolutely. I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. Fiddled on us that he did when I saw the bullet curling side was too much. Stabbing that man, everything I said before stands. Yes, he stabbed him, yes he did. I think so, yes. Well, you only think so now, huh? You only think so now? Earlier you testified you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly slapped the victim, did you not? Yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor, described as the assailant looking like the, holding the knife in an ice-pick grip. I suppose. I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats of the roof deck. Oh, I expect that was me, sir. Then I turned around, yes, and I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor. The knife was sticking up at his midriff. That's right, and the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes. So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all. I really thought I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of stabbing, did I? Oh! Aha! Aha! You didn't see it either, did you? You're making it up. Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that?
Huh? Are you asking me or, are you telling me, man? He's getting flustered. Like, omitting the fact that he got up and looked over the seats to see the skylight. Might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Yeah, I'm gonna say no chance. Well, it's a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through the skylight on the top of an omnibus, that is.
Peeping? I am a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as Ballarat Day. It was a grim scene. I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me. Getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord. I would ask that you supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you how grim it was. Do you think I forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed the man?
Blood-soaked hands? Blood-soaked hands? Hold up. Hold up. No! He had gloves on! And only a little bit was covered! Hold up. We gotta go back to that last statement. I thought he was gonna say more than a single line. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to that statement. I know what to do. We have to present the gloves. We absolutely have to present the gloves. I can make 3 more oopsies before I'm fucked. Okay, now we have statement extend to 6 times. Present. The gloves, man. The gloves. Not blood-soaked. Blood-soaked hands?
Well, I mean, soap might be laying on a bit thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
My accent for fair play keeps like shifting between Ruski and fucking. I don't. I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
What?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilden, on the night in question.
Oh, yes, right.
This certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there, but I'm sure as you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony's inconsistent!
But, no, that can't be right.
You're the liar here, then! That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said it was on both hands. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment that the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
No. Objection.
Objection. It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused. Objection. No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness is deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Why? I'm a city banker, for Pete's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie, but is that really the case? Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide of this trial completely. Something to show that this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. Wait. Could his name be on the debtors? Hold up. This portfolio has to contain some sort of secrets of the London gentlemanry. You don't think we ought to look inside? Well, it's not as if we know any of London's gentry personally, apart from our great detective friend, perhaps? Actually, I kind of wonder. I assure you will not find Mr. Sholm's name inside. Let's see what we find. Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, though, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Ah, goodness. What is it? Look at this. Do you see this name here? Bruce Fairplay! We fucking found it! He's got a motive to lie, baby! Let's go! Let's go! He got a motive, baby! Get fucked! Get fucked, fellow Nawe? I don't even play the Elder Scrolls anymore. I've never touched Morrowind in my life, Nawe. I got you. Alright. I have evidence! My lord!
Yes, counsel.
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay has reason to lie in his testimony. We got the motherfucking receipt. Now, let's go.
Very well. I hereby call upon the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for which the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Take that!
Motherfucking receipts. Here's a list of the debtors that owe money to Mr. McGilded.
Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion.
Yeah, well, the point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused? Well, it's barely worth being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
Well, what of it?
Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that a loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay! Is this not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something that you never in fact saw in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant?
Order! Order! Order, Mr. Bruce Fairplay! Yes, my lord. Let me ask you again, and be aware your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you, or did you not, see the precise moment at which in time that the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony!
All right. Now, let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch.
A pinch? A man's life is in danger!
But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing on Mr. McGilded's hands, both of them.
Objection!
Objection. And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
So you do keep saying.
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir?
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Oh, well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes, I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. What? What? Which means there was a fifth person on the carriage.
It appears we are going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yeah. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here.
There was blood on both of his hands and their assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
I remember seeing the knife. I do remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself, no. Not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we all would have seen. Well, lo and behold, in truth and fact, not one of you witnessed the crucial moment that the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying that we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witnesses' accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, Counsel.
Yes, my lord. I'm gonna press everything this time. I feel like there's only... Wait. Or... Yeah, but once again, that can't be the case. No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves that the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record.
I am well aware of that, sir. But nevertheless, I know what I saw, and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands.
He's defiant even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw. But why?
Your reasoning is dire.
One hand or two. The salient point remains unchanged.
Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers.
Hold it!
Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance, as you well know.
But, crying out loud, we all know no one else could have possibly done it. I was just trying to save us all some time.
You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, don't you? Had you hoped for a release of yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty?
Well, that's not entirely not what I was hoping for. Oh, I just lost a little guinea or 10 back when I backed the wrong horse in the derby, that's all. I was going to win it all back. There's a fixture this weekend that's a sure thing.
He's a gambler. A little guinea or 10?
I'm a banker. No one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend.
Even the judge is like, bruh.
I think you may have revealed rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir.
These witnesses' scruples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness. Is that really how that works?
Hold it!
So you also see both of the hands covered in blood. You definitely saw that too. Blood on both hands. Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you want to say. Only one of Mr. McGillis had gloves and I didn't saw the blood on it. thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGill sitting beside that other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir. He wasn't wearing these gloves? Oh, that's correct, sir. And when I saw the blood on both of his bare hands quite clearly. It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see.
I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused in the night in question reported there was no trace of blood on Mr. Gilded's gloved hands. So there wasn't blood on his hands. This is puzzling. This is puzzling indeed.
So, he never had blood on his hands, but you've been letting the accusers constantly state that he had blood on his hands just to make your case in point. I fucking hate lawyers. This has to be significant somehow. I'm sure of it. The only reason I like Ace Attorney is that while it is a quote-unquote lawyer simulator, it is a mystery game. It's not a lawyer game, it is a mystery game. It's a mystery game that uses like a quote-unquote kangaroo court legal court system to try and like make something, you know, make progress happen. That's what I like about it, is that it is a mystery. It's a mystery before it is a, you know, legal game.
Hold it!
So you didn't see anything. Lawyers, pro liars, yeah, for fuck's sake. That is to say, no, I didn't. I'm very sorry about what I said before, sir. Very sorry, yes. It was very wrong of me to make up stories and such. Says so stab the man. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
I know what you're insinuating, but I certainly wasn't making up stories.
Still, to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it? No, sir, I saw nothing at all. Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London's streets, no? Oh, please. You didn't even see that. It was so cold that night, you see. It was all I could do from keeping from passing out, sir. My head was fairly frozen solid, sorry to say, sir.
It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights. Beppo!
Oh! I feel so bad for Beppo, dude. No. Except because you guys saw blood on both hands, but there was no blood on you know, both hands from the defendant. There had to have been another person. And everything that you saw from the incident was from the skylight of the roof on the omnibus.
That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass was not frosted over.
Oh yes, I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin.
Oh, why not?
It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door.
It was locked.
That's right! And it's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That is not what I call fair play!
I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb aboard the roof deck and to look down longingly to the warm cabin below.
Well, I can assure you I wasn't looking down. I was glaring long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say.
I'm not so sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside that cabin through the skylight? I think, like, no matter how you, like, look at it, right? They can't have seen everything. It's a small-ass window. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding on the omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight on the floor of the upper deck, is that right?
That's right, yes.
In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you.
What?
Oh, by golly, really? Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility can't be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in that enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Yeah, they could have. They didn't look inside to like verify everything, right?
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. These prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here in the flesh.
Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify the area on this cross-section plan of the omnibus. Where exactly on the omnibus that you're suggesting this potential extra passenger could have been situated?
Oh. I don't know where they were sitting, though. I mean, I guess it would have to be this, because this is where the blood was, on the left. It was stabbed. So it must have been from the opposite side, right?
Take that!
Both rows of seat on the roof face the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin, which the passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I draw here. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite of the one in which the victim and his attacker are sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses could have been completely unaware of it.
Objection!
It's quite possible. Some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a foreboding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you are able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you all allude.
Oh! McGinnis! Because if the murderer was sitting next to him, McGinnis had to be on the opposite side! Can you, Mr. Naruto? Yeah, we have the answer right here. Because the problem is we don't know who the murderer is, but we know who's innocent. Oh, that's easy. I have an inkling. I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. Wait, you just broke your chalice a while ago. Where'd you get another one?
You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned.
Let's not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was Magnus McGilden himself! The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilden. Mr. McGilden?
What are you talking about, counsel? That is the name of the defendant.
Objection!
Oh, Jesus!
If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hollowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Seeks.
People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East of having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly.
What are you trying to say?
Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to that fact. This is the very premise upon which this case is built.
Objection!
Objection. But that premise may be wrong.
What?
if the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, counsel?
Well, the defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection! Objection! Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection! That's the point! Even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Ah, yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else, sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood is on the passenger's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
Oh, watch as McGinnis has been sleeping there for way too fucking long, right? Like, he got on, like, way earlier in the evening, but just stayed in the fucking, like, bus because it's just been moving the whole time. He just fucking conked the fuck out and just been sleeping forever. So that's why when the last hour came about, the guy only remembers taking on 4 passengers because the 5th passenger, McGinnis, never fucking got off the bus!
And who was this third party?
Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary. Order! 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 What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
Objection! The defense's postulation is just that! Nothing more than conjecture. The witness have clearly stated they saw the accused!
Objection. But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the 2 of them were wearing hats. I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them, though.
Oh, yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
And what particular styles of hat did the 2 gentlemen spot, Mr. First?
I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter?
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in the cabin.
How can you be so sure?
Because if there had been, the accuser, Mr. McGilded, would have undoubtedly offered to dispose the fact. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accuser failed to not even notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin of which he traveled.
Yes, actually. 100%. Motherfucker said that he calms the fuck out when he gets in. He's right. If there is another person traveling the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order. There is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand. Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds? As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord? Should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify? No. We leave well enough alone. Maybe. Okay. People? His profile. Wait, no? No, let's bring him in! Fuck it! What do we got to lose? The evidence proven by an innocent man is the best evidence of all. Yeah, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, sir. I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilden has to say. Get the man out of here, I say! It would be utterly illogical to not hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I'll run things down at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say, oh yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Now maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear.
Let the proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilden, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord!
There are now two matters upon which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether there was a third party in you in that omnibus cabin, as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person is indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police? Now,
Big God, no! 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all!
just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. To tell you all, or keep me mouth shut. Tell us what, Mr. McGilden. The fine fella representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage of the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true.
Aye, 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away with it after all happened. Wait, you... What? Urchin?
No, Magnus McGilden. That convenient excuse can't save you now.
Oh, I'm truly sorry I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was...
Well, little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known that wee little one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her to the here in this courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That... I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. Never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings. What? Smoke! Fire! Fire! There's a fire! Look, someone's trying to get away! After them! It's no use! I can't see anything through all this smoke! Wait, what's going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face!
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape! Secure the omnibus! I hereby call an emergency recess! Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody. Clear the courtroom!
Hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. What the fuck is going on? way. Well, ooh, okay. That is a lot. That is a lot! That's a lot. And it took us almost 3 hours to get through the first part. Dude, Ace Attorney stuff is long if you're like sitting there voicing everything and like giving everything the pacing that I feel like it genuinely deserves. I think I'm actually gonna call it a stream here. Bit of an early stream. It is Sunday. I don't want to go like too late, and I have some dinner plans. Yeah, I'm gonna refund the Gamba because we didn't get to the end. I'm realizing now that like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I think the Gamba cool. We're gonna refund the Gamba. Delete it. Delete return points. All Gamba points returned. It's fine. Next Sunday or Saturday we'll finish the rest of it. And the Gabagool and the Babadabooey, right? Right? Either way, thank you guys all so much for stopping by. This was a lot of fun. It's always fun just hanging out with you guys. You know, making memes, coming to fucking, you know, big realizations and shit. Mwah. You guys are absolutely the best. I'm gonna run the ending ad break and I'm gonna call that a stream. Thank you guys so much. Mwah. I love you guys. I'll see you guys not tomorrow, but maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what happens. We'll see. We'll see. Ending early, that's shocking. I love you guys.